family offices know a good deal
Family
when they
offices,
see one?
no. Family offices on average are terrible investors. You know this, I know this. Some of them are phenomenal. Again, those are people that we try to trade ideas with. And that's how we got access to the Brad Jacobs QXO deal. QXO hit new highs today. We got in at the $9.14 price alongside Duke University and the Kushner family and the Walton family. You and I also talked about that. And I remember we were on calls with folks in your network, and no one in that group signed up. It's really funny. Our clients did, and now they're up, I don't know, like 70% with no lockup and liquidity. And we're essentially out of that deal now. It's realized, real returns. We're half in the bank. But investing is hard, number one. And if you don't recognize that, you won't be a good investor. I think family offices recognize that, but they don't know how to proceed forward. Because if you want to be a good investor, you need to have domain knowledge. You need to be able to learn quickly. You need to have an excellent network, and you have to be able to access opportunities, and you got to be able to recognize a good opportunity when you see it. Because there's so many opportunities in the world, most of which you have to say no to. But now and then you get a yes. CoreWeave was one. Brad Jacobs QXO is another. When I talked to our clients about CoreWeave last year, by the way, they're like, what about OpenAI? I was like, we're talking about OpenAI. So OpenAI is spending billions of dollars on CoreWeave. That's expensive. And they were going to lose money this year without the fact that they had to do a raise with the Kushner set a price. And that doesn't mean it won't do a 2x or 3x. So it's more the category of speculation because it's not profitable. And they have dependency on their parent Microsoft. And they've got competition on all sides, from Meta at the app layer, from Google on the other side, from Anthropic at Amazon, search engine wars. Whereas with CoreWeave, you got a dominant market leader who's profitable, who's got a forward P less than the S&P 500, where 90% of next year's revenue is committed.
I know.
Coming from big tech companies and governments, but they don't invest. Family offices need to be told by Goldman Sachs that you're supposed to invest in this. The Goldman Sachs can't get in that deal either because it's too small, it's niche, it's capacity constrained, which is the marker of alpha. My framework is this. You have three buckets. One is safety. The second is lifestyle. And the third is aspirational. Solve for safety. Make sure you've got a liquidity buffer so that if your tire pops out, you can repair it and go to work so you can continue to stay gainfully employed. Get the liquidity buffer to address emergencies and issues. Solve for safety, number one. After that, think about it as a bucket you fill up with capital, and the riskiness that that capital is attached to corresponds to the nature of what you're trying to accomplish. So that safety should be really boring stuff that we don't even want to own or talk about, like, right? Fixed income securities, let's say. Okay. I'm not a big fan of treasuries, but theoretically, you're supposed to put it in that kind of asset. The second bucket, lifestyle, you want to put in stocks that match the objectives you have over a similar kind of horizon. You're saving for college tuition for your kids, you're saving for retirement. It's a 10-year time frame. Stocks will do great in 10 years. Okay. Then after you solve for buckets 1 and 2, solve for those goals, then you say, okay, I can achieve my planning objectives, my retirement, my investment objectives. What do I have left? Now you have this bucket of risk capital. Then you say, okay, how do I want to consider deploying this? By the way, the wrong move to make is take that risk capital and make a lot of risky bets, because risky bets on average don't actually work out. It's a funny thing. This is the genius of Warren Buffett. What he does is he says, oh, I'll just do a carry trade. I'll borrow in Japanese yen at lower than the cost of inflation. I'll make sure I can't get a margin call. I'll make sure I'm using permanent capital. And he'll just lever high risk adjusted return opportunities called quality compounders, businesses that generate free cash flow. Then he'll buy more businesses, get the depreciation benefit, or buy back his stock, or buy, right? So that's actually a very good answer for that third bucket, by the way. It's a very good answer. Now, but there might be other strategies you can take, like what you and I talked about, the CoreWeave deal, the Brad Jacobs deal, what we do with the ASPI, or digital currencies. So that's my framework, how I think about allocation, asset allocation.